All right, it's that time of the year where we show our best pickups of the year. This is for 2024. But before I get into that, just briefly, I just wanted to, make a little announcement. I'm moving to the Bay Area in January, so it's a huge move for me and my family. I've been living in New York City for almost 13 years. I just got a job I couldn't refuse there, and my wife's from the Bay Area, and her work is allowing her to work remotely, so it really works out, and we're excited about it, but also very sad to leave New York. I've lived all over the place in New York City. Lived in Brooklyn for about 8 years, and in Williamsburg, and Carroll Gardens, and Fort Greene, and then now I live in the Upper West Side in Manhattan. Yeah, if you guys need any suggestions of places to check out in New York City that are not touristy, I can give you some good restaurant spots. And if anyone lives in the Bay Area, hit me up. Would love to meet some new collectors in that area. All right, so without further ado, here are my pickups, the best ones of the year. Now there's a theme going on here that I guess I was really into picking up rare cards this year, and I certainly did that. But I've been a little too trigger happy this year. But starting off with, this is I think one of the first pickups I picked up for the year. Super tough card. This is the 1998 Central Credentials Now out of just 25. These never pop up for Larkin. And then I have a little quick backstory. This card was posted on Reddit, and Max Jackson notified me about this card. This guy had actually pulled it from a single pack. I can't remember where he was, like Kansas or something, and at like a flea market. And he pulled this card, and I reached out to him, and he didn't want to sell it for like 6 months to 8 months, and he got it graded. And then finally he kind of gave in and sold it to me because the word got out that I'm a Barry Larkin collector, and this is one of the cards I'm missing. I'm not missing too many cards from the 90s in terms of inserts, so this is a huge pickup. Basically a top 3 card if you're a 90s insert collector. And then I picked up just a ton of rare T206s. So this is a T213 type 1, but some consider this to be a T206 card. I do. It's the coupon back. Really nice for a PSA 1. Most of these T213 cards are in really low grade. The stock is a little bit thinner than regular T206s. And it's a Louisiana issue, so they've been through a lot. Not a lot of cards survived. Then I got this broadleaf John Anderson, really clean back. I might eventually trade it for a Reds player, but it was hard to pass up. I mean, look at the back; it looks really clean. And then I got this Mullen Factory 42 Piedmont back. It's the toughest back for Piedmont. Piedmont is the easiest factory to get, but this is the toughest variation of Piedmont, and you can see the Factory 42. It's right down here. And then, so this is the Mullen. Then I got another really tough Mullen. So at one point, I owned 4 Uzits. Now I own 2, but this is the one that I'm probably going to keep. This is the George Mullen and a PSA 3. Just presents really nicely. Uzits are ultra tough. You can go back and forth about what is the toughest back in terms of brand. Some say Uzit, some say Drum. Either way, these are hard to find. The reason I had 4 at one time is a big time collector was selling off his collection, and he had was I think going after almost like the master set of all backs for all different players. It's like almost an impossible feat. But anyway, a lot of rare Uzits and Drums and rare T206s kind of flooded the market this year. You can pick them up for good prices. I picked up 4 at one time, sold 2 for actually a loss of money. I consigned at an auction house, but oh well, my fault. but still stoked to have and use it in the collection. And then, speaking of a rare card, then I got this drum. Really, you know, for a drum back, it's a pretty clean back. You can see the purple font of the drum, and it's got some smudging on the front. But what makes this card really cool is that it's from the St. Louis find. This is a find about 20 or so years ago, where a bunch of these drums were found in St. Louis, I think there were like 30-something drums were found, which I think there's less than 200 known drums in the world. So a huge percentage were found in the St. Louis find, and a lot of those finds were players had never been seen before, including Harry Howell. So as of this video, Harry Howell, this is still the only drum found of Harry Howell portrait. So if you want to collect a Harry Howell portrait back collection, I guess you need this card. This is the only one in existence. So happy to have this drum card. And then another rare-ish T206 back, certainly not as rare as the ones I just showed, but American Beauty, Dick Egan. This is with frame. I occasionally like to pick up rare backs of Reds players, just kind of, I guess, upgrade my Reds team set with rare backs. And if I can find one in the old SGC flip, it's like definitely a plus to me. I'd much rather have, I don't like the font and stuff, but at least I like the size of the lettering and numbers versus this giant 9 that's screaming in your face where all you can see is the 9 when you look at this card. Personally, I think it's about the card, not the slab. But when you have giant font like this, it's all your eye goes to is the number. Anyway, enough griping. And then I picked up, which is basically an upgrade. I've had 4 or 5 different versions of this card. The Pauline Lingerie Portrait. I've had SGC 3s, 4.5 SGCs, another PSA 4, but this is one I got at a heritage auction. I couldn't pass it up. I paid for a premium for this. I mean, I paid for like what 5s go for, but there's just some black stuff from the Zion case. But I mean, look at the coloring on this card, and the corners aren't bad for a 4. It's from this, I think they called the Ramsburg collection. His grandkids consigned his collection, and this guy had just a ton of T206s, thousands of T206s, and so they've been auctioning them off slowly at Heritage Auction. But a lot of them were in really nice condition, and this one is just a blazer. I mean, the lighting in this video doesn't do it justice, but stoked because this is one of my favorite cards in the T206 set. And then this has been on my want list forever. Another card I overpaid for, but I'm, still happy I did because I'm all about eye appeal. I'd rather have a outstanding looking eye appeal card in a lesser grade than paying for let's say like a 7 with it slightly off centered. And this 6 fits the bill. Really nicely centered for a 63 tops. No print marks or there's a lot of fish eyes on this card. This is of course the Pete Rose rookie card. I don't know if this went up in value or not after he died, but I got this before he passed away. But as a Reds fan and as a person slowly collecting the 3,000 hit club, this is obviously a very important card in my collection. And some people don't like the floating heads, but I do. I think it just kind of adds to it. I don't mind multiplayer collections and multiplayer cards. Yeah, I mean, the color on this is just looks pack fresh. I even tried to have this regraded, see if we could get a 6.5, and it didn't. I think that's kind of, I don't know if I agree with that, because if you look at other 6s and 6.5s, this one beats them all. And then I picked up So I'm slowly working on the Colgan's chip set, and I picked up some very rare Colgan's chips. Some from a REA auction lots, and some I just found on eBay. Here are some of the more rare ones I picked up. I think I've showed this one before. This is Babs Norfolk. Obviously it's terribly off-centered, but this will do for now. But the Norfolk variation is ultra tough. And then this is the hardest Hall of Famer to find in the Colgan's chip set. The Elmer Flick Toledo variation. He also has a Cleveland variation, but the Toledo variation, when he was sent down to the minors, is a hard card to find. And then some other hard cards for some kind of no-namers, but if you know the set, you know these are tough to find. Birmingham, harder than his Buffalo, much harder than his Buffalo variation. Kovalevsky, Chattanooga. He has a Cincinnati variation, but the Chattanooga cards are some of the hardest cards in the set, probably less than 12 or 10 in existence. Hulswit, Chattanooga. Very, 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 very rare card. Rowan, Philadelphia. It's a Cincinnati variation. Both variations are kind of hard, but the Philadelphia one is very scarce. And this is one I've been after for a while. This is the Harry Hooper True Rookie card. He doesn't have any cards. The T206 set, the E91 set, like really any of those cards from 1909 or 1910. But he has two different variations. I don't have the other one with me right now, but he has a Boston American and he has a Boston National. Now, he never played for the Boston National team, so there was a mistake and they corrected it. But this would probably make it his first ever card because they corrected it later. And these aren't easy to come by. And a lot of people are out for this card. If you're a Hall of Fame rookie card, if you're into getting all the Hall of Fame rookie cards, the true rookie cards, this is the one to get of him. And yes, I do consider Colgan's chips to be baseball cards, even though they're round. And then the Larry Gardner New York, tough card. Austin St. Louis, miscut, but happy to have it. Very tough as well. I'm stop saying very tough. These are all very, very tough variations I'm showing. Matty McIntyre, Chicago. The Detroit one is a lot easier to find. Getz, Indianapolis. And Killian, Detroit. Hard variation. That's it. Yeah, I just I would have never imagined I picked up all these hard cards. Again, I think I probably overspent this year, but what are you gonna do? There was some very, very tough variations and rare backs that you don't often see for the prices that they come up at. So maybe I'll sell a couple of these. I don't know, but very, very pleased with what I found. That's it. Thanks for watching, and probably the next video I do, I'll be in the Bay Area. I'm gonna be living in Berkeley for a little bit until we find a house. But yeah, later.